is a secret working silently within you, one that shapes your destiny, your relationships, your health, and your wealth. It is the language you speak to yourself, the thoughts you repeat every day. Whether you whisper words of power or murmur words of defeat, your mind listens. It absorbs. It believes. Today, I want you to awaken to this truth: your mind will believe whatever you repeat. It does not argue. It does not resist. It simply follows the instructions you give it again and again. Everything you see in your life right now, every outcome, every situation, every result is a mirror of what has been repeated in your mind over and over again. The mind is a fertile garden, and every thought is a seed. Some seeds are planted intentionally, but many are planted unconsciously, born out of habits, fears, and words you heard long ago. Over time, the thoughts you repeat most often become the roots that shape your reality. Whether those roots nourish you or hold you back depends entirely on the nature of your repetition. Think about this. The mind does not question what you tell it repeatedly. It does not analyze whether your words are helpful or harmful. It simply absorbs them. When you say, "I am not good enough," again and again, the mind quietly accepts it as fact and begins to build a world around that belief. You will notice opportunities slipping by, relationships reflecting your doubt, and challenges appearing as if to confirm your inner story. Not because life is against you, but because your repetition created a lens through which you see the world. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine if, day after day, you whispered to yourself, "I am worthy. I am capable. Life is unfolding for me in miraculous ways." At first, it may feel strange. Your mind might even resist it because it has grown comfortable with old patterns. But repetition is patient. Just as a river carves stone through persistence, not force, the steady flow of positive repetition reshapes your mental landscape. Little by little, what once felt like fantasy begins to feel natural. The outer world responds, aligning with the new truth you have planted. Repetition is one of the most underestimated powers we hold as human beings. We often think change requires massive action or dramatic events. Yet the real transformation happens quietly in the mind, through the words we repeat when no one is listening. The mind loves familiarity. It is drawn to what it knows, even if what it knows is painful. That is why so many stay stuck in cycles of fear, self-doubt, or lack. They are simply repeating the same stories, the same sentences, the same silent criticisms every single day. And life, like a faithful mirror, reflects it all. To create a different life, you do not need to fight the old story. You do not need to argue with the past. You only need to replace the old with something new, and repeat it until it becomes your new normal. This is not about pretending everything is perfect when it isn't. It is about choosing your words with intention, planting seeds of what you truly wish to experience, and giving them enough repetition to take root. A single thought is like a spark. A repeated thought is like a flame that warms the whole room. Start to notice the language you use, especially about yourself. Do you often say, "I'm always unlucky," or "nothing ever works for me"? These are not just harmless words, they are instructions to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious does not argue, it obeys. It starts to look for evidence to confirm what you repeat. It filters your perception, making sure your experience aligns with your dominant story. But when you change the story, the filter changes. New evidence appears, new paths open, people respond differently. Opportunities seem to come out of nowhere. This is why people who practice positive affirmations with sincerity and persistence often report surprising shifts in their lives. It is not magic. It is not luck. It is the law of repetition. Just as negative thoughts can quietly destroy confidence, positive ones can rebuild it. Just as repeated worry can create tension in the body, Repeated calm can restore balance. The mind is always listening, always recording, always creating from what it hears most often. So ask yourself, what am I repeating daily? Are these words building me or breaking me? Are they aligned with the future I want, or are they a reflection of the past I no longer wish to carry? Because every day is a chance to begin again, to feed the mind with words that heal, words that strengthen, words that guide you toward the life you are meant to live. You do not need to force the change. You only need to repeat the new truth until it feels like home. Repetition creates reality. Choose your words as you would choose the seeds for your garden. Speak life into your mornings. Whisper hope into your nights. Let your repetition be your prayer, your medicine, your promise to yourself. And then watch how gently, how naturally your outer world begins to reflect the new rhythm within. Deep within you, there is a silent power that never sleeps. It is always listening, always recording, and always responding. This power does not argue with you, it does not question you, and it does not judge you. It is your subconscious mind, the hidden engine that drives most of your decisions, shapes your emotions, and molds your reality. The fascinating truth about this part of you is that it is neutral. It does not analyze what you say, it accepts what you feed it. It does not decide what is good or bad, it simply receives and acts upon the instructions it is given. Every word you speak to yourself, every belief you hold, every thought you repeat like a quiet song, your subconscious absorbs it all without resistance. It does not stop to ask, is this true? It does not say, you deserve better. It does not question, should I believe this or not? It simply takes it in and begins to create conditions that match those messages. If you constantly repeat, I am always broke, I never have enough, nothing ever works out for me, your subconscious does not argue and say, no, that's not true. It begins to arrange your emotions, your decisions, and even your perception of opportunities to keep that story alive. This is both the danger and the beauty of the subconscious mind. The danger is that it can carry old programming, words spoken to you in childhood, fears you picked up when you were hurt, beliefs you inherited from those around you, and it will hold them as if they are the only truth. But the beauty is this, because it does not judge, it also does not resist change when you choose to feed it something new. The same way it absorbed old limitations, it can absorb new freedom. The same way it believed in lack, it can believe in abundance. The same way it mirrored your fears, it can mirror your courage. Your subconscious works like a faithful servant. Imagine giving a servant instructions every day. We are poor. We are unlucky. We are not lovable. That servant will go into the world and prepare everything according to that order. Now imagine waking up one day and saying, from now on, we are blessed, we are capable, we are loved and supported in all ways. That same servant will adjust, perhaps slowly at first, but with consistency. It will create new paths, new connections, and new evidence to support your new instruction. This is why awareness is everything. So many people blame their lives without realizing they have been the ones giving silent orders all along. They repeat phrases without thinking. This always happens to me. I can't trust anyone. Money is hard to earn. I'm not good enough. And the subconscious, loyal and non-judgmental, says, as you wish. It begins to filter life in such a way that these phrases become real. You start to notice only the losses, only the betrayals, only the struggles, and you miss the doors that were open because your inner filter was trained to look the other way. But the moment you begin to speak differently, the moment you catch yourself and choose a higher thought, your subconscious starts to listen to the new voice. It does not fight you because it has no ego. It simply needs repetition. Just like the old story was written line by line, the new one must also be written patiently, daily, intentionally. That is the secret. Your subconscious is not your enemy. It is your most powerful ally, but it will only follow the script you give it. When you realize it does not judge, you also realize the responsibility you carry. Every negative word you repeat is a command. Every complaint you dwell on is an order. But every affirmation of strength, every declaration of possibility, every gentle whisper of "I can" is also a command. Which one are you giving more often? Which one do you want to feed? Because whichever you repeat, the subconscious will accept and create from it. So begin to speak to it as you would to a dear friend who is ready to help you. Feed it thoughts that open doors. Give it images of the life you want to live. Talk to it kindly before sleep and when you wake. Tell it what you choose to experience: health, love, abundance, peace. And then give it the gift of consistency. Because when you do, this quiet, neutral power will shape your world to match your words, without judgment, without resistance, without delay. There is a cycle many people live in without even realizing it, a quiet pattern that repeats itself day after day, shaping their emotions, their decisions, and their future. It is the loop of negative thinking. Those silent, familiar lines that play over and over like an old song in the background. I can't do this. Nothing ever works out for me. People always leave. Life is hard. These words may seem small, almost harmless when said once or twice. But when they are repeated daily, they become powerful. They start to form a loop, and that loop begins to build the walls of a prison you cannot see, but you can feel. A negative loop does not appear overnight. It is built over time. Perhaps it began with a disappointment, a heartbreak, a failure, or words spoken to you when you were young and vulnerable. At first, it might have been just a passing thought, but because it was left unchallenged, because it was repeated, because it was felt with emotion, it started to dig its roots into your mind. And the more you fed it with attention, the stronger it became. Soon, the loop no longer needs your permission. It runs automatically, whispering doubt when you want to take a risk, feeding fear when you want to dream bigger, pulling you back when you are ready to rise. The danger of these loops is that they are self-fulfilling. When you constantly tell yourself that nothing works out, you become hesitant to take bold steps, and that hesitation closes doors. When you repeat that no one truly cares about you, you push away people who try to love you. When you keep affirming that money is hard to make, your mind becomes blind to the opportunities that are already around you. And because life reflects what you expect, you begin to see more and more evidence of your own words. This is how a loop becomes a cage. But here is what you must remember. A loop is not a wall made of stone. It is a pattern made of thought. And patterns can be broken. Just as a negative loop was formed through repetition, it can also be dissolved through repetition of a different kind. You cannot escape a loop by fighting it, by hating it, or by fearing it. You escape it by replacing it. You begin to feed your mind with new, deliberate thoughts, even if they feel unnatural at first. I am capable. Things are beginning to work in my favor. I attract people who value and respect me. Opportunities are everywhere, and I am ready for them. At the beginning, these words may feel like a foreign language. The loop will resist because it has been running for so long. But with gentle persistence, a new rhythm begins to form. Every time you catch yourself in a negative loop and choose a higher thought instead, you weaken the old pattern. It is like interrupting a song halfway and playing a different tune. Do it once and nothing much happens. Do it daily, and soon the old song loses its power. Your mind starts to get used to the new melody. Your feelings follow. your actions change. And slowly, the world around you shifts to reflect this new vibration. The reason so many remain stuck is not because they are destined to suffer, but because they believe the loop is the truth. They think those negative thoughts are facts, when in reality, they are just old recordings playing on repeat. The truth is always more expansive than the loop. The truth is that you are capable of change. The truth is that you have already overcome things you once thought were impossible. The truth is that the moment you begin to feed your mind a new story, even quietly, imperfectly, the loop begins to lose its grip. Breaking free does not mean you will never have a negative thought again. It means you will stop letting those thoughts run your life without your permission. It means you become the observer, the one who chooses what gets repeated and what gets released. Every time you pause and choose a thought that empowers you, you are cutting the chain of the loop. Every time you speak words of possibility instead of limitation, you are building a new cycle, one that lifts you instead of locking you in. So if you feel stuck today, do not ask, "What is wrong with my life?" Ask instead, "What am I repeating that keeps me here?" Because the answer is almost always in the repetition. And the key is always in your willingness to choose something new. You do not need to fix the past. You only need to stop feeding it with your present thoughts. Begin a new loop. Let it be one of courage, abundance, peace, and self-belief. Repeat it with patience. Repeat it with faith. Because the same power that kept you stuck can also set you free. Once you change what you repeat, real transformation does not come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you choose to do again, even when it feels small, even when no one is watching. We live in a world that celebrates intensity, big breakthroughs, massive changes, sudden leaps of success. But the truth is, intensity without consistency is like a spark in the wind. It flares up brightly and then disappears into nothing. What truly builds a new life, a new mindset, a new reality is not the moment of inspiration, but the steady daily choice to keep moving in the direction you desire. Consistency is the quiet power that rewires the mind. It does not shout. It does not demand applause. It simply asks you to show up again and again, even in the smallest ways. When you speak affirmations once with passion and never again, they may feel good for a moment, but they rarely create change. When you write your goals with excitement but never look at them again, they become forgotten promises. But when you repeat your intentions daily, when you nourish your new beliefs every morning and every night, when you continue even on days you feel nothing is happening, this is when the mind begins to shift. The subconscious does not change through sudden explosions of effort. It changes through gentle, steady repetition. Imagine water falling on a rock. A single drop does nothing. 1,000 drops do little. But drop after drop, day after day, the rock begins to change shape. Not because the water was forceful, but because it was consistent. Your mind is the same. It has been shaped over years by thoughts you repeated without even realizing it. And now it will be reshaped by the new thoughts you choose to repeat consciously. Many people give up too soon because they expect intensity to bring instant results. They start strong, full of energy, declaring they will change their life overnight. They may practice for a week, visualize for a few days, repeat affirmations for a short while, and then stop when they don't see immediate evidence. What they fail to see is that the seed was planted, but not watered long enough. The universe works with cycles, with growth, with seasons. Consistency is the watering. Without it, even the most beautiful seed cannot grow. There is a quiet strength in small, repeated actions. 5 minutes of focused intention every day is more powerful than 5 hours once a month. Whispering, "I am enough," each morning is far more transformative than shouting it once in desperation. Reading one page of a book every night will build more wisdom over a year than reading an entire book in one sitting and forgetting it the next day. This is because your mind does not respond to how loud or intense you are. It responds to what becomes familiar. And familiarity is built through consistency. When you decide to create change, do not ask, "How big can I make this today?" Ask instead, "How often can I return to this?" The quiet, steady presence of a new belief will outlast the storm of an intense emotion. And as days turn into weeks, weeks into months, the new pattern becomes your natural state. What once felt forced begins to feel easy. What once felt like practice becomes your identity. Consistency also has another gift. It builds trust within yourself. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your inner belief that you are capable of change. And this trust fuels the journey even more than motivation does. Motivation comes and goes, but trust remains when you keep showing up. That is why people who master consistency often appear calm. They do not need to chase results desperately because they know that what they water grows. Even when you cannot see results yet, consistency is working behind the scenes. The energy you give to your mind today may not bloom tomorrow, but it is never wasted. Every repetition lays another brick. Every gentle reminder to yourself forms another connection. Change is not always visible in the moment. It is accumulating quietly, waiting for the right time to reveal itself. Just as a tree takes months to push for shoots above the soil, your new reality may take time to emerge, but it will, if you keep feeding it. So, choose a few simple practices that align with the life you want. Speak your affirmations each morning, write your intentions. Sit with your vision, breathe through your doubts. Do it gently, do it daily, and do not stop because the result did not shout back at you immediately. Great things are rarely built in a day, but they are always built one day at a time. And in the end, it is not the intensity of your effort that rewrote your life. It was the quiet, patient, unwavering consistency that did. Every word you speak carries a vibration. Every sentence you whisper, whether silently in your mind or aloud for the world to hear, sends out a signal that the universe listens to. Words are not just sounds or letters, they are seeds. And every seed has the potential to grow into something real. The future you experience tomorrow is being designed by the words you choose today. That is how powerful you are. Many people underestimate this truth because words seem so small, so ordinary, so effortless. But words shape your thoughts. Thoughts shape your emotions, emotions drive your actions, and your actions create your reality. When you trace it back, it all begins with a word. Think about the way you talk about your life right now. Do you say, "I am tired of everything. Nothing works out. People always disappoint me. Money is hard to make. Love never lasts"? These may sound like harmless complaints, but each one is a declaration. Each one tells your mind what to focus on, what to expect, and what to recreate. The mind is an obedient servant. It looks for evidence to support the words you speak most often. If you keep saying life is hard, your eyes will start to find only the struggle. If you keep saying people cannot be trusted, you will start to see betrayal even where it does not exist. And in this way, tomorrow begins to look just like yesterday because the same words are building the same patterns. Now imagine shifting those words, even slightly. Imagine saying, "Life is teaching me to grow. Opportunities are finding their way to me. I am becoming stronger every day. Love and kindness surround me, even if I cannot see it yet." At first, it might feel like you are pretending. Your outer world may not match your words immediately. But words are builders. They do not need instant proof. They need consistent energy. The more you speak them, the more they plant new instructions in your subconscious. The more you affirm them, the more your inner state begins to change. And when the inner changes, the outer always follows. There is a reason why every ancient teaching, every spiritual practice, every movement of transformation places importance on what you say. Because words are the bridge between the invisible and the visible. They take your inner belief and send it outward. They shape your vibration and attract experiences that match it. When you curse your future, you close its doors. When you bless your future with kind, hopeful, and abundant words, you open windows you could not even see before. The most dangerous words are not the ones you shout in anger. They are the ones you whisper in despair over and over again. I'm unlucky. I'm not enough. These words become silent contracts with your future, telling it to remain small. And yet, just as easily, you can create new contracts. You can speak words that pull your future closer instead of pushing it away. I can handle this. Things are aligning for me. I am capable. I am worthy of good things. Say them gently. Say them often. Say them even when they feel like a stretch, because words do not ask for perfection. They only ask for your choice. The beautiful thing is, you do not need to change your entire vocabulary overnight. You only need to start being more aware of what you say repeatedly. Catch yourself when you speak lack and replace it with possibility. Notice when you declare limitation and gently choose expansion instead. Each moment you do this, you plant a different seed, and seeds do not sprout the moment you plant them. They grow quietly under the surface, until one day you wake up and realize your words have become your world. Every word shapes tomorrow because words set your focus. If you speak fear, you look for danger. If you speak gratitude, you find reasons to feel blessed. If you speak resilience, you become stronger without even trying. Life is always listening to you, but more importantly, your own mind is listening every second. And it remembers. The words you say today become the beliefs you carry into tomorrow, and your beliefs become the foundation upon which your future is built. So begin to speak as if tomorrow matters, because it does. Speak with intention even when no one is around. Bless your own name. Bless your own path. Instead of saying, I don't know how, say, I am open to learning. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, say, I am creating the means to receive this. These small shifts build new paths over time. They create a future that feels lighter, wider, and more alive. The world is shaped first by thoughts, but thoughts are born from words. Choose them wisely. Feed your future with words of possibility. Let your language be the soil in which miracles take root. Because tomorrow is not written by fate, it is written by the sentences you repeat when you think no one is listening. And the most powerful listener of all is always with you, your own mind. There is a moment that holds more power than any other. It is not the moment when everything goes perfectly. It is not the day you finally achieve your dreams or the night you celebrate your success. It is the moment you are in right now, this very breath, this very heartbeat. So many people live waiting for the future to rescue them or blaming the past for holding them back, all the while forgetting that the only place change can ever begin is here in the present moment. This is the moment where choices are made, where beliefs are rewritten, and where new paths are born. You hold far more power right now than you realize. The past is a memory. It cannot be changed. The future is a possibility. It has not yet arrived. But the present is alive, and it responds instantly to your attention. What you decide to think now begins to write the script of tomorrow. What you choose to focus on now determines what expands. Even the smallest shift in thought today can ripple outward into massive transformation over time. because change does not come from one giant leap. It comes from one conscious moment followed by another and another. Often, we convince ourselves that change, wait for the right conditions, when we have more money, when the pain stops, when someone apologizes, when the timing is better. But that is only a delay dressed as logic. Life changes the moment you decide to take your power back from the past and stop giving it away to the future. You cannot rewrite yesterday, but you can speak a new sentence now. You cannot control every event that will happen tomorrow, but you can choose the energy you plant in this moment. And that energy is the seed of everything to come. Your mind, your emotions, your beliefs, they all respond to what you do now, not what you plan to do someday. If you keep saying, "I'll start when things calm down," you hand your power to a time that may never arrive. If you keep saying, "I'm too broken, too late, too far gone," you reinforce the story that robs you of the gift this moment is offering. Right now is always the turning point. No matter how deep the past has been or how uncertain the future looks, the present is a door that opens when you step through with intention. Think of all the times you believed you could not survive something, and yet you did. Think of all the things you once feared that no longer have power over you. That strength was not born in some faraway future. It was claimed moment by moment, choice by choice. Every time you decided to keep going, every time you spoke one word of hope instead of despair, every time you forgave when bitterness wanted to stay, that was you using the power of now. And you can do it again, starting this very second. You hold the power to speak words that heal. You hold the power to shift your attention from what drains you to what restores you. You hold the power to release what no longer serves you, even if just by saying, "I choose peace over pain." These small acts are not weak. They are the most powerful movements of creation. The universe does not need dramatic gestures to respond. It needs clear intention and presence. And presence is something you already have. Sometimes we wait for courage to appear before we take action, but courage is born in the moment you act. Sometimes we wait for clarity to arrive before we make a decision, but clarity comes after the decision is made. The power you seek is not hiding in the future. It is waiting for you to stop postponing your life. Everything you dream of becoming starts with one present choice: to think differently, to speak differently, to act differently right now. And even if you feel weak today, even if the weight of yesterday is heavy, remember that power is not about force. It is about direction. A single step in a new direction carries more power than 1,000 regrets about the past. A single thought of hope carries more potential than a lifetime of doubt. Each moment gives you a chance to redirect your life, to rewrite your inner script, to stop repeating what hurt you and start building what will heal you. You are not powerless just because things are not perfect yet. You are powerful because you are aware, you are breathing, you are here. Right now is not just a passing instant. It is the point of creation. And the more you return to it, the more your life begins to unfold in your favor. The past is done. The future is still forming. But this moment, this is where the universe listens. This is where your words matter. This is where your choices echo into forever.